Hey y'all, what's going on? Heard some of you wanted some build tips, so here we are today, and I'm doing some build tips. So first off, um, sometimes when you have like really tall builds like this, like really high ceilings, uh, the walls won't line up perfect, so you can like fill in with stone like that, and then build a layer of wood on top to kind of fill it in more. And this is something I started doing and I actually really like it. It also gives some really nice like contrast to it, you know, so just not all just like the same color. So I'm looking at now like the grays with the browns and the wood, and it just looks more, it just looks a lot different. I think it looks a lot better too. So all you want to do is just try to get the blueprints to work with you. Sometimes it's a pain. If I have to do it custom, I will. See, I don't want it too far over because then it will be sticking out of the roof. So I'm going to want to cancel some of these blueprints. I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm not keeping that one. That one's gonna be sticking out the roof a little bit, I think. But it's fine there. Oh, come on. Yes. Okay, then we'll just do that. I'll just cancel that part of it. And boom. There we go. And I'll probably fill in the rest with wood. Or stone, I mean. If not, I'll just leave that little gap. We'll be back in a minute when I finish this. Alright, I think this looks really nice actually. I'm really glad I ended up doing this. I think this looks much better over here now. Especially inside. Like, it just looks so much more clean than before. And as far as filling these with rocks, I couldn't figure out how to fill it with wood in a way I liked how it looked. So I like how the rocks look, so I ended up just filling it with rocks. Could probably frame it with some wood somehow. I just don't know if I feel like it. I think it looks fine. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look awful, so that's just kind of how my solution right now to filling those in, like those kinds of things right there. Just extending some walls up into the ceiling, and they stick through sometimes. I'll show that in a second, but it's really not the end of the world. I don't hate the look from up top. I really recommend using stone in your builds as much as possible. Just, you know, like I'm just gonna walk around my house and show different places and ways I've used it, just for random things like with the custom blueprints, just to slightly improve builds and like the aesthetic of the build. Like I really do enjoy how the rocks look. Here I'm going to be putting another rock wall layer here to kind of just cover out some more like the underneath when you're running by on that side. I like to use the rock walls again to like outline the bases when I build, at least on the beaches or pretty much just anywhere. Then you can just go up with like a layer of sticks or bones. I'm going to show you a build I'm going to be touring soon, like officially, like when it's fully done. But this is a cabin I built out of rocks. Like I built the foundation and then I built the rock walls layer by layer up around it. And pretty much for the roofs here, I'm going to kind of just do support beams, kind of make it look like they're being held up. But when I build, I generally will make it like uneven, like this, and then, you know, I'll leave space for like big open windows, and then stuff like this, I mean, I could probably even just like something like that, even just to kind of pull it together. I don't know, but kind of just like, oh, that went straight down. That's not what I wanted. Kind of like that, I guess. But basically, a lot of the time I like doing the weird builds with like stone walls and bones and stuff like that. Different custom blueprints just to try to intermix them. Like here, I literally did a stone wall and then I built a layer of wood inside of it in a platform in my base to make a room here. There's even like a storage room back here, a little hidden storage room. Like I'm gonna be making that stone wall, closing it off to make this feel more like a room. But I mean, just some more ideas for you, like custom building. I really like, in my builds, I like doing stuff like this where I just have like outlooks over the top. Here, I'll show more examples in a second. Right here, this cabin's another example. I made a stone foundation and then built up on the next level, and I started doing wood blueprints, and I mean, I love how this cabin turned out. This is what we lived out of while I was building the main cabin and building the rest of this. Up here, we just kind of have, you know, our main living area, and then down here is pretty much just the storage area, a little bed. And I mean, it's awesome. Also, you can get stones to stack in twos if you just take the blueprint and you just slightly drag it out and hit E. Then you put 2 stones on it and finish it, and then you can take it out again, put the next blueprint, and it'll snap on top of it. You can just keep stacking them up to make stone pillars, which is really awesome. I'm glad I figured out how to do that. Very helpful when building. Another one of my main building tips is building these skull lamps. They're very cheap. Let me show you the blueprint. Right here. 3 sticks, 1 skull, 5 sap. And they give off a pretty good amount of light. And putting these around your base as you get those materials, like as you get more skulls from just killing more cannibals and, you know, sap from logging and building your base up, you can kind of just use them to light around your base, and then at nighttime you have this, like, it basically doesn't feel like night anymore. It just feels very warm and cozy and looks really nice, just lighting around the edge of your base. So that's another huge tip I have and recommendation that you try out in your base. One of my next main building tips, just for your things that you can build in your world that will help you a lot, is zip lines. Not only can you move logs down zip lines, like I have one over there for sending logs to the island for building that base. I have zip lines on the cliffs at all my other bases to send logs down. I have an elevator that I have a bunch of like storages on for transporting logs and sticks up and down the cliff. But I really recommend building zip lines between like your main bases, you know, any key points of interest, like any caves you want to loot a lot, or like any places you want to go a lot that have something you need or want. Anywhere you're going to be traveling a lot, just like build yourself a series of zip lines across your world. It's really not hard to do, and I mean, it's just so worth it. I just got all the way over here to another base in seconds. I mean, I didn't have to run here. I'm above the ground where the cannibals can't get me. Lots of pluses to building those. I'm gonna show you something right here in a second that I recommend doing if you need more height, because you do need the angling down in the direction you want to be heading, obviously. So I will normally just build like stairs, a custom stair blueprint, and then build the stairs, and then put the zip line on the very top. The stair blueprint, though, can be used for any zip line you want to build it this high off the ground. It works. You want to take it and you need to go that high off the ground, you know, you can just build it. And now you are super high off the ground and you can angle that down to where you need to go. Also using like just cliffs and ground to your advantage, like the, finding high points to just transport resources from. Like, oh, there's a cliff up high near my base that has a lot of trees, so I'm gonna build zip lines to send those trees from up there to down to my base really fast with minimal effort. Make your building a lot better. I mean, and just traveling around the map a lot easier. And like, yeah, there's cannibals down there, and I don't even have to care. Because I just get to go through my whole zipline system. So yeah, ziplines are definitely worth your time. You're definitely going to need a lot of rope, but in one of my videos I did things you need to start doing in the forest. I'd show how to store rope so that it'll be no problem for doing ziplines. Otherwise, on to the next building tip. One of the other main things I recommend setting up around your base, if you don't live under a cliff like me and you want to build above the cliff, or whatever the reason, you know, you want to keep cannibals out of an area, do stone walls, stick fences, or bone fences, because cannibals generally don't attack these and they just try to find ways around them. Also, if you play like building destruction off like me, I mean, it's just easier to do that and it looks nicer. Also, I recommend building as many happy birthday traps as you want and as you can, like for your defenses around anywhere you don't want cannibals. They one-shot mutants, they one-shot cannibals. I mean, they're just beasts. Also, deadfall traps. These are 2 traps you can build. I'll show the blueprints on screen in a second here. And you can use them to defend your base from anything. And all you need is sticks to upkeep them. You just, you know, hold E. And, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, up here, I use this. I use the artifact. I'll put it on red, and I'll put it down in the ground here. And I'll just let all the, like, cannibals come to me to try to, like, you know, fight then. And then they'll just run into all these traps. We'll reset them all, then they'll come in here. We'll just kind of fight them all off. And it's most of them just barely make it through the traps. So I definitely recommend building lots of, like, fences and traps around your base. But you know, when building platforms, you can also attach them to cliffs. Normally, you can just build a platform up or down really high. You can put ropes on them. I also use these sometimes for my zipline towers, but also you can use them to build on cliffs. You just take the blueprint, aim it towards the cliff, and press E. Now, the platform attaches itself to the wall. When displaying weapons and items, you know, you can normally just do 1 log, and then you can take it and you can display it on the log. You can also take that same weapon display, put it on the wall for 2 sticks. All the different types of storage have 2 different kinds. The small variant and the large variant. You just have to click R on it to make it go to one or the other. One of them costs less and holds less. One of them costs more and holds more. It is like that for all of the blueprints. Even the rock holder. Well, and my last building tip is really just to make use of the space that you have, like kind of just filling it with stuff so it's not just empty. Like, I could have left that corner empty, but why not put a couple of couches and a chair, or make some gardens, which I might honestly take out the stone walls and put like bone in. I don't know why I did stone for that. Gonna have to like meticulously cut that out with the tool, but like the delete tool or whatever it is, hole cutter. But yeah, just make use of your space. Like, you know, line the walls in your base with like this kind of thing. Like, fill it, like, you know, armor stands, and in between armor stands you can fill in with bone storages and arrow storages and small stuff, and then you can make rows through the middle, like kind of, you know, just really try to make use of all the space you have when building, and get creative when you're like working on something like I used to have like cookie cutter builds I used to try out and do, and then I just started like building into the terrain, like, or like, you know, if one thing won't place one way, like if I'm doing like a roof, you know, and a roof won't place right, like, well, now I'm just gonna go up another floor and add another level, like kind of how I ended up doing the bottom here. It's like, well, it wasn't letting me, what was it not letting me do here? Oh yeah, it wasn't letting me put the floor across the whole thing. So I ended up making a row of walls here and then just putting it to there. And I really like that now. I really like how this turned out. I have like this little balcony area, and then below me I have my bedroom or my storage room or whatever. And then, I mean, you know, just happy accidents here. But that's what I mean, kind of just whenever things don't work, don't get discouraged when you're building and working on a project. Like, just try to figure out a way to make it work for you. You know what I mean? I'm really bad at explaining some things. I can try to go in more depth on it on another video. Like, I'm going to be doing some raw footage of me working on a build later. And as I'm building, I can kind of just, you know, explain what I'm doing. And try to do that more when I'm building in my videos. Just explain what I'm doing more often. But, you know, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully I helped y'all out, and hopefully you learned something today. And just thanks for tuning in. See y'all in the next one.